What is up, guys? Tony Picks here with another upload video. This one's very last minute. It's going to be a super quick prediction video, probably under 5 minutes, just of the main fight card. I'm not really going to go too into details about the breakdowns, mostly just which fighters are going to win and how they're going to win. I haven't really got to study the full fight card, but I still wanted to get some content out there. So let's get right into it. Kicking off the main fight card, we got Tim the Barbarian Bosch squaring off against Omari Akhmedov. In terms of keys to victory here, I think Tim Bosch, pretty simple. He's going to have to come forward and knock out Omari Akhmedov. He does have the power to do so. Tim Bosch likes to walk forward, get in close, use the dirty boxing, and doesn't mind grappling. He does have some good takedown defense. I think the key factor for this is going to be the fact that Omari Akhmedov has fought some very hard-hitting guys. He's fought Abdul Razak, who has like 10 KOs out of his 10 wins, and he beat him. He was able to avoid the big shots, out-wrestle him, and out-grind him. So it'll be interesting to see Tim Bosch coming off of that bit of a layoff and coming off of a loss, how he responds. With this being said, guys, I'm going to give the decision here to Omari Akhmedov. I think the key factors are the fact that he's training at American Top Team. He's got high-level middleweights to train with. He's getting good looks. And I think that he can really avoid Tim Bosch's big shots and make it a boring, grinding fight to exhaust Tim Bosch, who's, like I said, he's coming off of kind of a year rest after that loss. So I think that Omari will be able to make it a nice, boring grapple match. He'll be able to pick his shots on the outside, avoid getting hit by Tim Bosch's big shots, land the takedowns, hit some ground and pound, and basically just wear him out for 15 minutes. So I'm going to give the unanimous decision win here to Omari Akhmedov. In the next bout, we have a nice lightweight clash between Drew Dober and Beneil Dariush. Drew Dober's he's won his last 3 fights after losing to Zabit, although he did really impress me against Zabit. He showed he has a chin, and he keeps moving forward. He's got that grit and toughness. He also does have some decent wrestling. Beneil Dariush, probably one of the most underrated wrestlers in the UFC in total. Performed a lot, and he's kind of been overshadowed by getting knocked out by Alex Hernandez or that vicious knee by Edson Barbosa. So he's been on the end of some highlight reel knockouts, but he's still a really good contender. A big step up for Drew Dober, other than his first fight against Zabit. Drew Dober's kind of fought like bottom feeders of the lightweight. It's going to be interesting to see how Drew Dober responds with the wrestling of Beneil Dariush. It's going to be the first time he's against a world-class wrestler like that. It's going to be interesting for me to see how Beneil starts. He's very kind of starts off and he's slow karate stance and he's very patient, and that's how we got caught against Alex Hernandez. It's kind of just very slow and patient. Alex Hernandez came out, landed a very quick shot and put him out cold. Same with Edson Barbosa. Beneil Dariush was kind of slow moving, went for kind of slow takedown that he really telegraphed, and Edson Barbosa put him out with a knee. So it's going to be interesting to see Beneil how he approaches this fight, if he comes out quick or if he still stays slow. I'm going to expect the same Druber to come forward, throw hands, has decent wrestling, but I really don't think that he's at the level that Beneil Dariush is at. I think Beneil's going to use that wrestling very smart. He's going to wear out Drew Dober, and he's going to avoid Drew Dober's shots. Drew Dober does have pop, but I don't think he has danger like Edson Barbosa or Alex Hernandez. So it's going to be very interesting to see Beneil Dariush how he starts. I want him to start off hard, at a higher pace than he normally does. I'd like him to start off and land a takedown early, hit that ground and pound, and work his ground game. He does have some decent karate stand-up. I think that Drew Dober has the better hands, but I don't think that he has dangerous enough stand-up to where he can mix it in his hands and feet and really possess a threat for Beneil. I think Beneil just has to watch out for the hands. He's not going to be expecting any different strikes, and just land the takedown, land the big shots, wear him out, and eventually maybe finish the fight. With that being said, guys, I'm going to give the unanimous decision win here to Beneil Dariush with a possible late round finish if he's able to get on top of Drew Dober and maybe lock in a submission, because he's going to be hungry for a win in this one. And I think that if he dispatches of Drew Dober easily, it can give him another higher ranked fight that he can call someone out, especially if he dispatches of Drew Dober easily, who's a pretty tough challenger. So yeah, Beneil Dariush should be a unanimous or late round win. Moving on to the next bout, heavyweight bout between Blagoy Ivanov against Ben Rothwell. Ben Rothwell's a classic for me. I like that evil laugh and everything, like everything about him. I really like Ben Rothwell coming off of a bit of a layoff. Also, Blagoy Ivanov hasn't really impressed me a lot. Like he's shown decent takedowns and that he's tough, but hasn't really like impressed me all that much. I'm just checking the fight card here. Is just checking out Tim Boesch's stats. I'm just checking out Blagoy here, his finishes. I wanted to check. So yeah, he does have some submission wins coming off of a win here, and then Ben Rothwell. Here, when's the last time Ben fought? Fuck. 3 years. Shit. It's been a while coming off of. So both these guys are coming off of losses to Junior Dos. It's interesting for me the way this fight works out, because I think in terms of stand up and hands in boxing, Blagoy has the advantage. I think he's a crisper striker, but he has this tendency to kind of lean forward when he's in close, and Ben Rothwell has a wicked guillotine that he locks on shorter fighters. So I actually want to see the height advantage here. If Ben Rothwell has a 6'4". Okay, all right, 6'4", 5'11", in that reach. Okay, guys, so I'm breaking this one down kind of live time as I just seen that stat. I'm going to give the edge to Ben Rothwell. Reason I'm going to give the edge to Ben Rothwell is because outside of Blagoy's stand-up, he has a lot of tendencies. He tends to put his head down, doesn't really have good cardio, throws the same shots, whereas Ben Rothwell, he does have this. Oh, how many wins does he have by that guillotine? Oh, 1, 2, lost. Only 2 recent ones. Hey, wow, I could have sworn. He has, anyways, well, he's definitely attempted it a lot more than 2 times, but he has this guillotine, like a standing guillotine that he tries to hook, so it'll be interesting seeing him hook this. But this one, guys, I'm going to give the edge here to Ben Rothwell outside of stand-up. I think he has the grittier wrestling, better takedown game to where he can force Blagoy to implement his takedown defense and use his ground game. I think he'll avoid Blagoy's big shots and really just finish him. So with this one, guys, I'm going to give Ben Rothwell via submission or KO in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think that after the 1st round, once Blagoy falls into his tendencies, where he starts leaning his head and getting really lazy like we've seen against Junior Dos Santos, he's either going to get taken down and finished, or he's going to get locked with the submission. So that's I'm calling a submission, a specific, maybe that Ben Rothwell guillotine. So I got Ben Rothwell winning that fight. Moving on to the next fight, we got Tim the Dirty off with Nico Hybrid Price. Pretty interesting bout. You have Tim Means, who's definitely the more decorated stand-up and ground fighter of the two, but he's kind of aging. He's shown he's a chinny fighter a bit. And then you got Nico Price, who's the younger, not more skilled, but harder hitting fighter, kind of stubborn, as we've seen against his most recent fight. Stood up with a knockout artist and got knocked out, but he has shown that he does have power and he does have a decent ground game. We've seen that against Randy Brown when he knocked Randy Brown out with that strange knockout, but before that he was showing decent transitions on the ground. It's not like he was on his back and lost. He was showing decent transitions, although I don't think he has the ground game to keep up with Means. I think in terms of full fighter, Means is a lot more decorated. He's a lot more decorated with his strikes, kicking in, using his jabs and his kicks. Even with his takedowns, he'll throw a jab and a kick, and then he'll take you down. He's not just going to shoot in for a takedown. And what Tim Means does very well is after he throws, he doesn't keep his head straight. He'll throw and he'll move his head off the line, which is really important against a rangy fighter like Price, because Price, when people throw shots at Price, he throws shots right back. So if someone's throwing a shot at Price and they're moving their head, Price is going to have to work more to land on them. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works. A lot of prediction videos I've watched have given Tim Means the edge, which 100% in terms of better fighter, more decorated, I'm going to give the edge to Tim Means. But for my prediction, I'm going to predict Nico Price via knockout. I think Tim Means is kind of on his way out. He's had a lot of fights in the UFC. Nico Price, he's coming off of a big loss, wants to solidify himself. We've seen against Alan Yoban that he's easily capable of ending fights on the feet. And I think that Tamines is going to be a stubborn Tamines like we kind of seen in the earlier rounds against Ricky Rainey. He was standing up, not necessarily getting the best of him, and then he's like, fuck it, I'll take him down and finish him. I think that Tamines is going to have that same stand-up mentality at the beginning of this fight, and he's going to get rocked and put away, and based off his own stubbornness. But I could easily see Tamines getting a takedown, fighting a smart fight, and possibly submitting Nico Price on the ground. But I don't think that that's the Tamines we're going to see. I think he's going to come out, brawl early, strike, and I think he's going to get clipped by Nico Price, who's the younger, hungrier fighter. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give the kind of against the grain prediction to Nico Price via KO in the earlier rounds. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, a very interesting bout. Two very decorated stand-up fighters between Elias Capoeira dos Santos and Curtis Millender. Elias dos Santos comes in with the unorthodox strikes, a lot of movement, very aggressive, in-your-face kind of fighter. Curtis Millender, very rangy, crisp shots, crisp kicks, crisp knees. Everything he throws with good intent. And his crispness, like he throws very straight, which is going to be very important against a fighter like Elias dos Santos, who's going to be pressing forward, who's going to be looking to land weird, rangy strikes. I just want a quick height comparison here to see what we're dealing with in terms of height and reach. Okay, so that's huge for especially that leg reach right there. That's huge for Millender because Dos Santos throws a lot of spinning stuff, like we've seen against Sean Strickland. He's thrown a spinning kick and a lot of unorthodox strikes. He's a wicked striker. Doesn't really have many submissions. It's a very, very interesting fight here, and I think what it comes down to here is the fact that Curtis Millender is very crisp and he uses his range well. I think that Elias dos Santos is going to have to get in close to really land significant shots. I don't think his unorthodox strikes are going to be able to land against a rangy fighter like Millender, so I think he's going to have to get in close to land significant shots, and I think in him having to do so, he's going to eat a lot of shots by Millender. He's going to eat a lot of jabs, he's going to eat that 1-2, the leg kick, possibly the high kick, and possibly even some knees. I think that Dos Santos' aggression is going to play against him in this. I think he's going to be looking for the finish, coming early, and he's just going to be getting teed off on by Millender. I think Millender has crisp and he has power to put people away, and I think this is going to be a statement fight for either one of these guys if they're able to finish the other. It's a huge statement fight. With that being said, basically a quick breakdown. I think this fight stays standing up. Curtis Millender lands the crisper strike on Elias, looking for the finish. He's going to start getting sloppy, putting his hands down, start throwing outside shots and looping shots. And I think in him throwing a looping shot, he's going to get caught straight down the middle by an ending blow by Curtis Millender. So I got Curtis Millender by finish in either the second or third round. I think it's going to be a systematic breakdown. He's going to land his shots on Dos Santos. Dos Santos is going to want to be more aggressive to land more shots. As his aggression picks up, he's going to leave himself open for a counter shot by Millender. Moving on to the main event of the evening, we got Derek the Black Beast Lewis against Junior Dos Santos. So a little bit of favoritism going into this one, guys. I really like Derek Lewis. I just like his persona. That's not to say that Junior Dos Santos isn't the better stand-up, has more accomplished fighter, but I really think a word that I like to use for Junior Dos Santos is shop-worn. I think he's been through wars. His chin is... We've seen him rocked against Tai Tuivasa, and I think that that's enough for me to easily lean toward Derek Lewis. I mean, Junior Dos Santos has the ability to put combos together, land big shots, and fight smart, but he's just so chinny. Like, he gets hit by a shot and he's rocked, and I don't think that that's good against a fighter like Derek Lewis, who has range, who throws with intent, and he can throw with intent for 3 rounds. He can finish people at the end of the third. We've seen that a few times now. I think in terms of the beginning of this fight, it'll be really important for Junior Dos Santos to land body shots. If he's able to land body shots, it'll slow Lewis down. Even leg kicks just to kind of slow Lewis down and pick him apart. So Junior Dos Santos, for me, his key to victory would be from the bell, land body shots, um, fight smart, leg kicks, but stay in close. The problem is when Junior Dos Santos throws his shots, he stays right there. He doesn't have like wicked movement. He's not quick. He stays there. He throws and he's right in front of you. Derek Lewis is a fighter who when he gets thrown on and he's covering up, he'll come and he'll throw right back and he throws straight down the pipe and he's got reach. I think that he's got a really good game plan to finish Junior Dos Santos. And like I said, I also like Derek Lewis. So in terms of fighter mentality, I could definitely see Junior Dos Santos key to victory, landing body shots, landing the leg shots, basically keeping close to him. But he'll need to bring a new side to his fighting with a lot of head movement and a lot of leg movement throughout the 3 rounds and not be chinny. But he's been in wars. He's shown that once he gets hit, his chin's like, you know what I mean? Like I said, Tai Tuivasa rocked him. Derek Lewis, on the other hand, I think he's got to fight very intelligent too. I think that he can't be lazy and let Junior Dos Santos come in and land big shots, kind of like we've seen against Alexander Volkan when he kind of just I feel like he was letting Alexander hit him with big shots early, and he was getting rocked, but he was letting him take the shots, and then he was giving punishment. I don't think he should do that against Dos Santos. I think what he should do is try to implement his game, move in, jab, which we haven't really seen Lewis do a lot, and basically just land a counter shot. All Lewis has to do is land one counter shot, and it's over. I see him finishing this fight against Dos Santos. I really do think that this isn't a good matchup for Dos Santos in terms of stand-up styles. Lewis is really good off of the counter, has power for 3 rounds, and isn't a heavyweight that goes in just throwing bombs. I think that the way Tai Tuivasa is played in for Dos Santos. Dos Santos was able to chill, land some good counter shots, and exchange when he wanted to. Whereas for Derek Lewis is going to be waiting, and when he hits Dos Santos, he's going to capitalize on that and finish him. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give an early KO victory to Derek Lewis. And that's it for my predictions. I really hope you guys like my quick prediction videos. For the next UFC Fight Night, I've already been doing my homework on that, so the video is going to be out early next week. If you guys like this, subscribe. Also, leave me a comment with your predictions, what you guys think of my prediction videos. I really like talking with other people and seeing where they stand in terms of predictions and who they're predicting for. So have a good one, and I hope you guys enjoy this event.